Hey everyone, it's Winnie, and I said that I was going to do a final, recap about the whole tonsillectomy experience. So here we are. It's over a month. Today's date is December 12th. So it's been over 4 weeks, and it's been from the 9th to the 9th. So however you want to gauge this, it's been at least a month. I don't know how you want to gauge it. And we're doing a lot better from the last time you saw me. I'm going to share some stuff that I noticed along the way, just kind of give a reminder about things that I mentioned in the vlogs, or just some things that maybe you may find beneficial if you do this surgery. I don't anticipate a lot of people getting the surgery because getting this procedure as an adult isn't very common, I feel like. And the oldest person that I saw getting it was like 56 or something like that. And I was like, whoa, dude. They were saying that I was older for this. And she came out with flying colors. So anyway, first thing, I'm going to say this again. My vlogs were for entertainment purposes only. Your experience may be different from my experience. You may have a higher pain threshold. You may have a lower pain threshold. You may not really, you may have been through worse and you're like, oh, this is nothing. And so take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Even in the vlogs, the things that I talked about may not be the case for you. Next thing, if you can, stay calm. Try not to scare yourself. I know that sounds easier said than done, but I did have some comments saying that they were scared of the procedure. They've never been put to sleep for a procedure. I was in that same boat. I've never had surgery. I've never had a broken bone. I've never been hospitalized. So going into this, I was a bit nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous, but I didn't allow myself to freak out. You know what I mean? I went to bed. I was even going to bed, I was like, I'm afraid I'm not gonna get some sleep. But no, I was out. I slept probably more than 8 hours. I woke up, I felt good, and then even the morning that I woke up, I was right about to get in the shower, and the doctor's office called and they asked me to come in early because they were ahead of schedule. So I was like, okay. Even though I was nervous, I still went in 45 minutes early for the procedure rather than just putting it off. And even going in, even prepping, even when they took me into the room, I was like, okay, I know what's going on. I know that, I should be scared, and it's okay if I am, it's okay if I'm not. Just don't freak out. And I'm not gonna say that I think because they put something in my IV, I don't know if they did. I feel like they would have told me if they did. But even going in, I was calm. Sam will tell you. So I feel like if you allow yourself to freak out, it just makes it even more worse. So just try to stay calm, take some deep breaths, remind yourself everything will be okay, and be optimistic. So my next thing about this one is important. If you don't have to get your tonsils out, don't get them out, because it is painful. It is painful. It is not a walk in the flowers. It is, everybody says, oh, you get to eat ice cream and, you get to relax and stuff like that. Yeah, you can. I tried to stay away from dairy because I didn't like the phlegm and stuff like that. Towards the end, I kind of started eating it, or because it was more like moldable to the back of my throat. But I didn't eat it as often. So don't get them out unless you really, really had to. Mine was for medical reasons. I was getting sore throats. I mentioned this already. I had some sore throats were lasting up to a month, and I started questioning, what is this medication doing to my body? I kept taking ibuprofen, and I was like, what am I doing to my body? What am I doing to my liver? What am I doing to my kidney? Especially after taking it for a month, every couple of hours, and that scared me. So after like the 3rd or 4th sore throat, just during the year of 2018, I decided just to go in and get it done because I hated waking up in the morning with sore throats. It was painful, and yeah. Plus, it also helped with my snoring. But that wasn't the reason why I got it done. If you're a parent and you have kids, if you think it might be an issue, or your doctor says that, you know, their tonsils could potentially be an issue or will be an issue, the sooner, the younger, the better, because kids bounce back way quicker from this procedure because their tonsils have barely grown. So logically, if you're cutting something off that's bigger, the wound's gonna be bigger, versus if you're cutting something off that's small, the wound is smaller, so therefore the healing time is a lot faster. At least that's how I understand it from how it's been explained to me. So I'm not saying that all kids need to get it done, but if your doctor or their doctor is saying that it's a problem or could be a problem, I would definitely consider getting it done while they're still young, not when they're grown freaking adult like me. So anyway, let's get back to this. I took 2 weeks off from work, and the doctor said as long as there's no complications, it could be 2 to 3 weeks. I went with 2 weeks, and towards the end of the first week, I was starting to get nervous because at that point I only had a week left, and I was like, am I gonna be okay to go back to work? I don't like missing work. I enjoy my job, and I enjoy getting paid, so I wanted to get back to work and start making an income again and stuff like that. So I felt like the pressure was on to get back to work, not because work was wanting me to go back, only because that's how I am. I consider myself a workaholic. So being at home, sleeping, being able to do like just the basics, like take a shower, go to the bathroom, that is not me. Like, I like to do a lot of stuff during the day, and just to be able to do more than that, I was excited about. So it kind of depends on how you are. If you think that you would heal quicker, I don't think it's a good idea to go back before 2 weeks are up. Yeah, so I took 2 weeks off. It's up to you. And thankfully my job was really understanding. They were really willing to work with me, try to figure something out if I needed more time. My friend from work, she was checking on me. My other coworker, he was checking on me, making sure that I was okay. And it was nice for people, you know, to check on you, that sort of stuff. My husband was here. He took care of me. He put up with my complaining and my crying and my whining and all those things. So it's up to you, however you think, however long you think, it's up to you. Hopefully your employer is, you know, understanding and is like willing to work with you like mine was. Anyway, this one's funny. Laxatives. I recommend the X-Lax, the chocolate, because it's not like, oh, this is kind of like chocolate. It tastes kind of like chocolate. It tasted just like chocolate. And it was like deceiving me because I was like, I want another piece because it was so good. And thankfully I had only the recommended amount and it did its job. But for the medication that I was on, if you don't know already, I was taking Percocets. It did not do any favors for my, I don't know how to phrase it. Bathroom situation. I don't want to be crude here, but at the same time I'm like, let's be real here. It didn't do me any favors in that department. Like, I could pee, but if you use your imagination, I wasn't able to do, you know. Anyway, X-Lax, the chocolate one. Yep. Drink a lot of water. I can't stress that enough. I was so sick of water after 2 weeks. yes, I had, you know, a soda here or there, or like some apple juice here and there, but for the most part, 98% of fluids that I had was water. And I'm not trying to say water is disgusting and I hate water and blah 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 blah. It's just that if you have something day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, especially if there's no flavor to begin with, you get really tired of it. And after almost 2 weeks of just water, I was like, somebody just give me a Dr. Pepper or whatever. Or I hate Kool-Aid. Like, I hate Kool-Aid. I was willing to drink Kool-Aid just to have some sort of variety, but water definitely helped with the healing process. It helped my skin. That was like a benefit. And of course it keeps things moving. I know that if I didn't drink as much water as I did, as far as things moving along, it would have been worse. So, and you'll get tired of people telling you, drink water, drink water, drink water. Oh, my throat hurts, drink water. Oh, my, you know, my eyes are burning, drink water. Ugh. Next thing, stay on top of your meds. I can't stress, that's another thing I can't stress enough, because it's almost like a cycle. If you wait too long before taking your meds after they've worn off, trying to take a pill is painful. So there's like that small window of opportunity where it's like it just kind of picks back up and just, it's like a cycle. If you take it before it completely wears off, but just in time when you're supposed to be taking it, it's a lot easier. So stay on top of your meds. I was to the point where even in the middle of the night, without an alarm, I was waking up every 2 hours and 45 minutes, just enough time to dispense my meds, drink some water, and go back to sleep. So it was to the point where I didn't even need an alarm after a while. It was like my body knew. So stay on top of your meds, take them wherever you go, even if you don't think you're gonna need them. Take them with you, because there were a few times when we were out and about. Luckily, I took them with me, and I was trying to wean myself off them, but the pain would just come back and I had to pop something. So take them with you, at least one. Don't tell anybody you're on Percocet, because they'll look at you weird, but at the same time, people will know that that's why she's acting kind of funny, because I felt like Percocets made me weird. Like, it made me feel dizzy. I'd just be standing there and I'd lose my balance, and of course with the movement of stuff, it affected that, and it didn't taste particularly good if it dissolved in my mouth a little bit. They were big, but they were strong. But those are all gone. They're, you know, I disposed of them after I didn't need them anymore. Be gentle with what you eat. I saw a lot of videos of people saying, oh yeah, as soon as I was done with the procedure, I went out and had nachos, and I had toast, and I had, you know, all these things. And they're saying that their theory behind this is that, well, your throat has to get used to it, you know, eating these sharp foods, abrasive foods, crunchy, hard foods. In my opinion, I don't think it's about getting your throat used to something. It's about not tearing a scab off, which is why I recommend eating soft foods. Because I saw a video of a girl, she took her pill, she went to bed, she woke up and her mouth was full of blood. Her mouth was full of blood. And it was because when she swallowed her pill, it's like it took off part of a scab, so it was bleeding. And so because she had eaten already, they had to pump her stomach before they went back in to recauterize the back of her throat because of the scab. And I was like, what? I did not want that happening to me, and I don't think any of you do either. So my best advice, eat soft foods. Only eat what you think you can handle. Again, it's your body, so you know your body better than I do. This is just something that I was like, why would you eat tortilla chips when you've just had this procedure done. Why? So I don't recommend. Your throat just has to get used to it. It needs to adjust to it. No, I don't think that's it at all. Humidifier. We have a humidifier. We were gifted a humidifier when we got married. We usually use it in the winter because that's when the air is dry, but especially during this time, I used it. Like, it was on for like pretty much the whole time. Of course, if we went somewhere, I was downstairs or wherever, I turned it off. But whenever I was in the room, in the bedroom, which was a lot, it was on. And I felt like it helped. Even now, I still use it, you know, off and on. It's been like 2 nights since I haven't used it, but even before then, I would use it still off and on. So I've seen, you know, less expensive humidifiers. I mean, even without it, I feel like with this dry weather, it might do some good. Lip balm. I found that after the procedure, my throat was swollen. It felt weird to just breathe through my nose. Like, I felt like I couldn't breathe. So I was still kind of breathing through my mouth, and it would make my lips really dry. So I kept lip balm near my bed, and whenever my lips got really dry, I would just put some on, and I didn't have to go searching for lip balm and stuff like that. I was using the Dr. Pepper one, if you care to know. Sonic sells bag of ice. If you don't know that they sell ice, now you do. It's like, I think it's like $2 or something like that. But if you've been to Sonic, you know that their ice is like really, really small, like, and it's soft too, so you can like spoon it and crunch it and suck on it, and it felt really, really good on the back of my throat. So rather than trying to suck on a huge piece of ice and potentially choking, I opted for the small bags of ice from Sonic, and I felt like it was pretty good. So it's up to you. This one's kind of silly that I'm actually giving a tip on this because it's I don't know. But the few instances that I vomited, don't tense up. Because the first time I vomited, I was like, ooh, because I didn't want to rip up a scab, because it was the day of my procedure that evening. And they tell you don't throw up if you can, or don't cough, or try not to sneeze. Don't clear your throat because you could rip up a scab. So when I felt like, you know how you feel when you're about to throw up. When I felt those feelings, I was like, and so I got up and I ran to the restroom, to the trash can, because we were downstairs. And the first of whatever of the vomit that came up, I was tense, but I was like, okay, I just need to relax. And after that, it was a lot better. I felt like not tensing up, it wasn't as painful. So I don't know, take that however you want to take it. That's just what I realized for myself. Take your time with food and drinks. Don't get out of the procedure and start like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna eat a steak, or I'm gonna eat some crunchy chicken tenders or whatever. Take your time. If you must eat something like that, chew your food thoroughly. I know it sounds silly, but I found that if I didn't chew my food at least 25 times, it would hurt going down, because I don't know, in my head I felt like there were still chunks of whatever. So whenever I ate something, I chewed it till it was basically I can't believe I'm talking about this. I chewed it till basically it was mush. And it seems like a no-brainer, but really think about it. How often do you actually chew your food? The recommended of times, which I think is actually 25 times, but I was just like, this is too painful, so I would just keep chewing and chewing and chewing and chewing. And by the time everybody else was done with their meal, I'd be like barely even a quarter of my way through my meal. So it kind of slows you down. And after a while, you're just like, I just want to go. I don't want to finish. I'm holding people up, and that's how I felt. Drinks like sodas and stuff like that, I stayed away from carbonated beverages till like maybe a week and a half after, only because I didn't want that carbonation to hurt my throat. But you know, it's up to you. I stayed away from anything that I thought would have acid, like lemonade or orange juice. Red dyes, that was for a different reason, because they thought the theory behind that is that, or not the theory, the idea behind that was that if you eat something with red dye and you need to go back to the doctors, they would have a harder time trying to tell if it's red dye or blood. So eventually that cleared. The doctor said that I was fine. But what I did recall in another girl's vlog, she was saying, you're not gonna have taste buds, you're not gonna taste anything. And I was like, I tasted everything. The green jello was my favorite. I love green jello. The blue popsicles, I love those. Everything that I ate, even that evening after the procedure, I could taste. And if it was warm and soothing and it tasted good, I was like, oh my god. And I kind of laugh about my voice when I watch those videos. I'm like, I sound like Minnie Mouse or Mickey Mouse or whoever. And I noticed that sometimes, depending on my pain level, it would kind of determine how my voice sounded. Because if I was in pain, I couldn't really open my mouth, and sometimes I would just kind of talk like this. And then I also noticed that there were a couple of clips when I would just be talking just like how I am now, and I'd be like that, and I would just go, I would zone out, look around, and then go back right into what I was saying, like I didn't, like that little pause didn't just happen. And I don't know, I don't know what happened, but I thought it was funny. I know that there was one where I'm sitting on the bed and I'm like, and I'm looking out the window, and I just go back into what I was saying. I can't explain that, so anyway, I'm gonna blame it on the meds. And another thing that I wanted to bring up was there were, I think, 2 clips where I showed you guys the inside of my mouth, the scabs. I'm the type of person that I brush my teeth, I floss, I do those things every day. I do it at night, I do it in the morning. It's not very often that I skip a night with flossing or brushing. So the last thing that I wanted to do, especially after getting the back of my throat, you know, cut off or lasered off or whatever, the last thing I wanted to do was stick a toothbrush back there and brush and potentially throw up, rip a scab off or whatever. That was the last thing that I wanted to do. So if you saw the back of my if you saw the back of my mouth and were like, ugh, trust me, that's not how it is all the time. Just trust me. So that's not gonna be priority. I feel like when you're in so much pain and you're just trying to not throw up or have your gag reflexes go off or try to fall over because the meds make you feel weird. I feel like that's probably the least of your worries, is how the back of your mouth looks and that sort of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. I enjoyed making them. In the moment, sometimes I was like, what the heck am I doing? But now looking back on it, I'm pretty much healed right now. The back of my throat gets dry, like even now. I notice that sometimes when I'm talking, I make that sound, and I don't know what that is. And I notice that my nose, the inside of my nose, like, I have to blow my nose a lot because I feel like I have boogers. And right now, those are the only things that I don't want to say I'm dealing with it like it's a huge issue or it's holding me back from anything, but it's just something that I'm experiencing, and I know that eventually it'll go away. But thank you guys for watching the videos. Thank you guys for the encouragement, either through your likes or your comments, or just, you know, the nice words. Those were really nice. I hope that you at least found the videos entertaining. Like I said, I watched some of them since, and I was like, what the heck? Especially when I just kind of space out and then I go back to what I'm saying. I don't know. My husband was a trooper during this whole entire time. He put up with a lot from me, I feel like. He'll tell you that I wasn't, you know, I wasn't demanding or anything. But I feel like that I was, only because I like to do stuff on my own. So if you have any questions, comments, whatever, leave them down below. I appreciate it. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.